Pat Sajak has been a household name that other shows made a parody of him, including Celebrity Deathmatch. Of course, most of the time it was lowbrow. However, his appearance in Rugrats was one of the weirdest cameos I had ever seen. For those who don't know, Rugrats was one of the original Nicktoons that feature episodes around babies and grown-ups. At first, it looks like a kid's cartoon, family-friendly and all that, but then you realize that some of the jokes were intended for grown-ups. In this episode, Chucky Gets Rich, Pat Sajak appears as a spokesperson for something similar to Publisher Clearinghouse. Yes, the dreaded PCH, where they spam mailboxes with their $1 million sweepstakes by buying magazine subscriptions. You got sucked into the sweepstakes when you convince your parents to enter while trying to order a subscription from Playboy. Admit it. The Fisters had fallen on hard times, leaky roofs, unpaid bills, and Chucky unable to get toys because Chaz looks like he's broke. So, in a desperate attempt, Chaz decided to enter the sweepstakes. It's your typical spiel. They don't believe it will happen. Chance enters anyway since he got nothing to lose, yada yada yada. Yet somehow, Rugrats made that approach simpler than expected instead of the usual order more subscriptions to keep winning and you trying to get Playboy again. Again, admit it. Weeks came by and he won the sweepstakes and Pat Sajak, oh my god, work on his face. That right there is definitely not Pat Sajak. Aside from the botched job from the animators, Pat Sajak is usually reserved and tries to keep a low profile. A gig like that would have been Chuck Woolery's alley, ironically enough. And that's pretty much it about Pat Sajak. He appears giving a big check that's not the retired old lady at the front porch, and all of a sudden, the Finsters are trying to handle their windfall. Well, I'm not going to spoil what happens next, but I can tell you that windfall fates like this are, unfortunately, for better or for worse, typical. If you want a full detail on this episode, feel free to respond back to me and I'll probably look it over. Anyway, this concludes everything about Pat Sajak's role on Wheel of Fortune. Well, Pat Sajak, you gave your wheel a final spin. You gave contestants millions of dollars worth of prizes. I salute you. This is Andy Bishonen Speaks. And after all these years, my Vanna White issue haven't arrived unless... Oh, you son of a...